Hello, my name is Deshauna Jackson, and I am going to be doing my reflective presentation over my practicum with the Medical Institute of Sexual Health. Let's get started. So, here I'm just laying out an agenda over what's going to be reflected on in regard to my practicum. So, you'll see the topics covered here, which is the practicum purpose, my practicum project, accomplishments, and recommendations. And under these topics are going to be several reflective questions that I will go over in regards to what my practicum covered and how I accomplished certain things. So I will go over that information. So let's go over pretty much the purpose of the practicum, the purpose of who I completed my or the institution that I completed my practicum with. So just the general purpose of a practicum of a course is to provide students with the hands-on practical experience in a specific field or discipline. This allows students to apply knowledge gained in the classroom to apply it to real life situations or real life settings, real world settings. Through completing a practicum, students have the opportunity to develop and enhance skills, gain that experience needed if they haven't before, or even deal with experiences that they have not previously. In addition, sometimes practicums often ends up being job opportunities or a chance to network with other professionals in general. It allows us to be able to get mentorship. It allows us to get feedback that we can apply to our professional careers. So, with that being said, my practicum was completed with the Medical Institute of Sexual Health. The Medical Institute of Sexual Health, just to give you a little bit of background about them, is a nonprofit group that works to improve sexual health education, public awareness. The Medical Institute of Sexual Health has been around since 1992, and they work to promote evidence based approaches to sexual health education, sexuality related to public health, and public health problems. This group works with healthcare workers, teachers, policymakers, community leaders, students, to create and share tools and programs that aim to improve sexual health outcomes. So they have a lot of health promotion materials and training programs that you can access through their site. And they're known to give people the power, encourage healthy relationships, and stop the spread of STIs and unintended pregnancies. So very, very cool institute to be able to do it in internship with. And I was really, really happy to be able to get an internship with them because I am public health promotion, health education, and I've never worked with sexual health. So this was a different area of opportunity for me that I was able to get the opportunity to explore. So the next slide, I will kind of go over like my practicum project and kind of the design of my practicum with the medical institute to kind of give you a background of what I had to do before I kind of reflect over my experience with them. So the next slide here, we'll go over kind of like the practicum design, what we had to do as internships with them. So we had weekly check-ins, we had monthly scheduled meetings, and then we were to complete a research project with them as an intern. So I'll just kind of go into that a little bit deeper. So of course, I was selected to become one of their interns, and our responsibilities included completing research on a specific topic. And at the end of the practicum, we were to do a project of our choice over that research that was completed. So I was given a list of topics that my preceptor gave us. It's multiple students in the internship, but they gave us a list of topics that we can either research. And during my conversation with my preceptor, he just happened to mention, another thing that was kind of interesting was how divorce rates were significantly higher over with couples who chose to cohabitate before they got married. And I was very intrigued by that because I wanted to know, well, why is that? And he was like, this is very good. This is also could be a topic if you wanted to do the research behind that and then do a project based off that research. So I chose to do that. Um, in addition to completing the research, we had, like I said, our weekly check-ins, and what we will do is just kind of elaborate on what we accomplished that week, anything new that we learned, and if there was any barriers to getting the project or research done. Because at the end of the day, we are professionals. We do have full-time schedules, and so that probably was one of my biggest barriers of is time management, and kind of also in conjunction with doing the research and then figuring out what I wanted to do as my project. In conjunction, we also had monthly scheduled meetings with our preceptor at the medical institute. So we would do weekly check-ins, and then we would do monthly scheduled meetings where we'll actually meet and we'll talk. And this was our opportunity to just kind of go over what we've been doing so far, how things were coming along, if we needed any help, any feedback during this time. It was a time for us to ask any questions related to our practicum or our research. It was just a really good monthly check-in to kind of catch up overall. And if anything else needed to be done, then we'll do it at that time, or we'll talk about it at that time. And one example of this was I would utilize this time to kind of get feedback on what type of project they were looking for, what type of audience they were catering to, kind of to get a better feel of what I wanted to do. And at that point, I decided to do, which me and my preceptor agreed on doing an infographic poster and a video. So let me go ahead and go on to the next slide. So here I will kind of go over, now that I've kind of laid the foundation of who I did my internship with, a little bit background about them, and kind of how the design of the practicum was, or how it was handled. I wanted to go into talking about how my accomplishments went with this internship or with this practicum with the medical institute. So what I ended up doing was, you can see a little clip of my infographic that I put together in regards to cohabitation before marriage. In this infographic, I wanted it to be, which I'm very proud of, I wanted it to be something that was very eye appealing, that gave short bursts of data that would be very helpful. I've received great feedback from them. They loved this poster. He handed it out immediately. He thought it was enough information, not too much and not too less. So some of the things that I've gained through this was enhanced research abilities. Like I said, I completed this infographic, and I also have a video along with this. This has some of the same information. It's just a short little video. The hand-on experience with, different mentors, different peoples of different areas of their career, to be able to get feedback from them. And then, of course, even future job opportunities that we've talked about on several occasions if I was interested. So I've gained invaluable insights and experiences that have enriched my understanding, not only of the subject matter, but also of my own capabilities in areas of growth for me. Probably one of the most significant lessons I've learned is the importance of thorough, systematic research. Taking my time and diving into research, learning different methods, learning how different studies are completed, qualitative versus quantitative methods. Um, that's probably the biggest thing because that was the core of what I did. It was just interesting, engaging in the process of literature review and data analysis and breaking down different research articles and taking information from there. So that's probably one of the biggest things I've gained, and probably one of my biggest accomplishments is learning how to break down data and put it into health promotion materials such as this. So my last slide here is going to go over the recommendations, and just going deeper into that, the lessons that I've learned, certain challenges, and things that I probably would have changed, or wish I would have done. Maybe some students will look back at this if they do future internships with Medical Institute and be able to take away from some of the things that I recommend. So, reflecting on this experience, there are certain aspects I would approach differently. Um, for instance, I would strive to engage more deeply in primary sources versus getting sources like secondary sources. So, I mainly just dabbed into data that was already done, but maybe I could have done research myself and got a little bit more data through interviews or did a case study myself and been able to incorporate some of that data. I think that would have been cool to be able to do that and take that on myself. Um, that will allow me to get a better understanding of individual lived experiences. Um, Probably in addition, another recommendation I would have done would be place greater emphasis of exploring alternative methods, such as qualitative interviews, like I said, or case studies versus more quantitative articles. That was the bulk of my research. But overall, this practicum has been a transformative learning experience that has equipped me with the valuable skills and perspectives that I would carry on throughout my professional career without a doubt. I was very happy and very pleased with the things that I've accomplished, the things that I've learned. I received great feedback from my preceptors. It was an overall great experience, and I would totally recommend doing an internship with Medical Institute. And thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed my reflective presentation.